Okay, Presh, we're gonna start. I think we'll just let people come on
Awesome.
as the evening goes. So I'm going to just make sure I'm recording this. Perfect.
Ready when you are.
Yes, I'm ready. Good evening, guys, ladies that are on the call. I see cameras are off. So Zama, I'm gonna call you out. Musa, Portia, Tops. Turn on your cameras so we can see your beautiful faces, ladies. And I want to say welcome to this evening's sip sessions. And I'm super excited for my co-host who's joining me, and I'm sure all of you guys as well. So this session, I think I'll do less talking because I'm sure you want to hear more from my co-host than myself. But just before I do kick off, I'm just going to repeat the ground rules for anybody who's never been on the session. Please keep your mics muted throughout the session, just for the first 30 minutes. You can use the chat box for any comments, questions, any comments or questions, and we'll sort of look through them throughout the session. We will have an opportunity to unmute yourself at the end, where we can ask questions to myself or the co-host. The session is being recorded just for later use of content, so just letting you guys know that. And more importantly, let's respect each other, respect each other's comments, and yeah, of course, let's have fun. The reason why we call this sip sessions is because we want you guys to kick off your shoes, have something yummy to sip on, and for us to have a conversation that will sort of empower and inspire all of us. So just to kick off the session, please can you guys type in the chat group, what are you sipping on and why? And while you're typing what you're sipping on, I will be introducing the co-host. I'm sipping on chai tea today just because I've sort of had like a day of like emotions up and down. So chai kind of just calms me down. And I'm detoxing, so no wine for me today. But yes, my co-host is drinking coffee. What are you guys drinking? So you guys can just write in the chat, what are you drinking? Noxie, what are you drinking and why? Musa, Londeka, Charles, what are you drinking and why? So just to get right into it, guys, I would love to introduce my co-host. She is absolutely beautiful, both inside and out. She's an amazing soul that I have had the privilege to get to know as a friend and as a sister. She is, in my eyes, one of the best in the game. She is absolutely humble in the work that she does. She is a luxury wedding and event planner. She has worked with some of some respected people in the industry. And I don't want to say too much, but Precious, welcome and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. What a nice intro. I'm looking forward to our conversation, and I know it's going to be good for the soul because, yeah, you are with words and conversations. Yeah, I respect what comes out of your mouth most of the time. So I'm looking forward to being part of this tonight. And yeah, hello to everyone that is joining us. And yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, you look stunning as well. I'm glad the mister let you not be in the kitchen today.
Actually, I cooked before I sat down. I dished up for him.
Oh, superwoman, girl. So Chris, just to kick off, I mean, you, for people that don't know you, so let's just say people that don't know you, that don't know your journey, could you share a little bit just about where you're from, if anybody didn't see your wedding and doesn't know where you hail from, a little bit about where you're from and sort of how you got to where you are, because you've been in the game longer than I think anybody that doesn't know you would
know. Okay, so I'm a Petty Queen from Limpopo. I was born in a very small village, just about 3 hours from here, from Johannesburg. Nice. And I'm from a family of 5 siblings and with really amazing, supportive parents that are both still alive, which I'm really grateful for. I think COVID has really given us the opportunity to be grateful for the smallest things, and family is one of those. So family for me is everything. I grew up in a very strict environment, very Christian, parents that are focused, especially in education. Yeah, so that's, yeah, Limpopo
Girl.
girl, in the big city of Joburg, trying to live up to my dreams. Yeah.
Yeah. And how did
What
you
else was
find it?
that?
Yeah, how did
Oh,
you
you
find
asked me about.
in the industry? Ultimately.
Um, well, just after actually doing this little chat I had with KFM before now, um, so next year I'm 10 years
Wow.
doing all this. And basically, long story short, my corporate background is in marketing, communication, PR, and obviously, eventing is always a leg of any marketing department in terms of, you know, stakeholder management and relationship building with different stakeholders. So let me see. On.
Yeah.
Can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yeah, we lose you now and then. You'll just check
Oh,
your signal.
sorry.
Yeah, we
No,
lose.
it looks fine. It's right here. Sorry about that. Yeah, but
Yeah.
so I've been doing this for 9 years, and it's a long story. Maybe I'll tap into it as we talk.
Fit in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So just talking about, yeah, I've got you there. So just talking about, being 10 years in the game. I mean, that is, I mean, respect to that. So big up to that. But I can imagine those 10 years didn't come with, it wasn't a smooth paved path for you. And I mean, if you could share a little bit about how, you got to Precious Celebrations, but if there were sort of any challenges you faced, and I always speak to you just about being a Black female and being the best in what you do cannot be easy. So if there were some barriers or sort of some, challenges you had to overcome on your journey, and I mean, you can just share like a few, you don't have to really share every single battle, but if there were some barriers, especially in your industry that you've had to face.
To be honest, I've always kept my business very small and very boutique. It's always, as much as the dream is to have an empire, but I don't see myself with like I don't see myself with like hundreds and hundreds of employees, and but the the challenges that I've kind of gone through in business, it's really only recent. And
Yeah.
you know I think what I've discovered is with growth comes quite a lot of challenges. It's the disadvantage of being on the other side and your business growing, and
Yeah.
it comes with a lot of challenges. And that's what I've realized in the last 3 years. And before that, I must be honest, I've always just been quite calculative of every decision that I make. Everything I say yes to.
Yeah.
So I've really never had to regret any decisions or find myself in a situation that I didn't see coming. But with the challenges, and it's only recent, because some things, I'm a control freak at heart, and I really plan everything
To the T.
to the T. And it's not just with other people's celebrations, but with decisions that I make. And sometimes it's not really a great thing to have, because you don't, as an entrepreneur, you need to be able to take risks.
Yeah.
And I think taking risks come with sometimes losing and not getting your way all the time. But I don't think that's the part of being an entrepreneur that I like.
Sure.
I don't want to find myself on the other side of, regretting and,
Sure.
making, bad decisions. But I think the challenge for me comes with, the pressure of the business the brand that I've built. I think as growth comes, and one of the things that is making me look back and go a little bit back to the drawing board is, obviously my work has made me a bit well known.
A bit.
And
A bit or
well, and it's never been the strategy. I've never wanted obviously I wanted to make sure, you know, I'm on top of mind when someone is thinking of having something really amazing and, you know, an experience they haven't received from any other place. I wanted to be that, you know, the company that everyone thinks about. But what that has given me is it's exposed me and opened doors that I actually didn't want opened. Can you hear me? Sorry, I don't know what's wrong with my signal. So what, you know, some doors that have opened for me, I really honestly didn't want them open. I know it sounds strange. Maybe one day I'll explain it. I don't even know how to explain it. But basically, so, you know, the challenge that comes with people's expectations, and, you know, I think if you were a person that, me as Precious, I wanted to be well known as a person, it's a different story. But now when it comes to business, and now you are so much out there because of your work, it's really, it's something I'm really thinking about a lot lately.
I mean, you
and maybe it's because
I mean, how are you not going to be not known? You know what I mean?
I know. But also the other thing is having your name on your brand is
for sure.
what I'm questioning a lot. And I don't regret a lot of stuff, like I said. I don't regret the name that I gave for my business, because it stamped a lot of things. I used my name because I never wanted to disappoint myself first. I wanted to make sure anything that goes out there that has my name on it, I'll be proud and make sure that I don't feel like something bad would be said about the brand because my name is on it. So I make sure whatever goes out that has my name on it, it's, you know, nothing but like out there, up there. Has to be the best.
I think the first time I met you, or just when I got to know you, I was actually surprised that you were such an introvert, because I mean, that's so, like, you know, weird, because it's like, I mean, you have to meet like a lot of, you know, couples or you know, people that are throwing functions, and you got to talk to them, you got to deal with their moods, you got to deal with like mother-in-laws and, you know, aunties and all of that. So I just think like, oh my gosh, how can you be an introvert when you're so, you know? So I completely understand you just saying that, you know, you're regretting sort of being more out there than you really want to be. And I remember even the first time I met you, I remember even saying like, oh my gosh, you don't have like such a great job, like brides, and like especially bridezillas, because I kind of think I was a little bit of a bridezilla. But I said to you like, oh my gosh, how do you do this, brides, moms, you know? But I don't know anybody more calming in nature than you. Actually, just like when I am around you, you're very calm, which is great, especially for someone who's getting married. You've got a calming nature. But I think it's also like you're saying about your name, and I'm going to actually take that with me, is that, you know, everything you put your name on, you should be proud of. You should be you should be proud that you got something out there. Musa says in the chat group that you must save it for your autobiography. So all of this you're gonna put in your book. Yes, Musa's an author, so she'll hook you up with all the the publishers.
One day.
Soon and very soon. So let's get more closer to sort of Women's Month. So we're in Women's Month, and you know I'm having these conversations around just Women's Month. How are you feeling about Women's Month? I know we're in lockdown, which makes it a very different Women's Month for all of us. Is it I don't know who's unmuted. Let's mute. Is it a Women's Month that you feel that we're celebrating? Is it a Women's Month that we feel that there's still a lot that we need to kind of get through? So how are you feeling about Women's Month? And sort of what's the importance of Women's Month for you?
Well, this is a very strange Women's Month. I think for one, because of, you know, all the drama I went through last month, I realized how we actually as women, I think publicly we say we,
sisterhood.
you know? Yeah. And I think also the time that we all just have on our hands, it's really quite a frightening thing to witness that there's so many women that put each other down.
For sure.
I think for me it's really a strange Women's Month because of that. You know, how we actually support you when it's beneficial for me.
Yeah.
And the minute that someone has got what they need, they can really just turn around. I've just taken a step back to reflect on, you know, when you really say you truly support another sister, what does it really mean? Is it by referring, or is it mentorship? Is it being really honest about what you think about what they do? And yeah, so it's really, I didn't even feel like celebrating. I actually didn't even take any orders for Women's Day because of that. I just didn't feel, you know, I had a lot of people asking, and also because it was Sunday, I was just like, everything that I do, it has to feel right.
Yeah.
And I just didn't feel like there's anything much to celebrate. And it's not even in a bad way. Reflecting and, you know, it's sometimes it's very good because you'll know better when you decide for, you know, anything that comes your way. But I really think we need to, you know, look back at another woman. What does it mean? Is it only for your benefit, or it's really a authentic, you know, statement that you make? I think, yeah, it's quite it's poisonous, man. I really, it saddens me when I think, you know, how great we are as leaders, but we're the first ones to bring each other down. So yeah.
So nothing, so nothing made me more upset than, I mean, you're in a very different position because you are more known, your business is more known, you're building this business. And if another woman brings you down publicly, not only is it impacting your self-confidence, but in your case, it's a woman who was actually going to impact your brand, your business, your bread, your paper. And I think that's, you know, I can understand someone saying something bad to you, like, oh, you look fat or whatever the case is, but
oh no, I haven't got that.
I don't even care. Like for me, I think I was like, oh my gosh, this is your brand, your business. So the next person who wants, you know, to have a wedding or whatever the case is coming to you, never mind personally, they're coming to you, like, to your business. This is what's helping you pay your bills. So now you've just built this whole story about me. And that's what I'm saying. I don't care if somebody talks about my weight, my skin, my whatever. But if you're coming for my paper, my brand, and me, then we've got a different, you know, situation.
Yeah. And you know, I think also just keeping a very, I think you need to protect your tribe. And like, I've always been a person that makes sure that, you know, whoever I have as a very close friend or in my circle, they can never, you know, be shy to tell me the truth. So,
sure. And I had you on
know,
the tweets, girl. I was screen grabbing. I was like, this is what these damn people are saying.
But you know, if I didn't have the kind of love and support of really authentic people in my life, my sisters, my friends, and it includes a few of you on here, I would have probably reacted in a way that would have caused more damage. And if anything, I think from what I went through, it taught me a lot. I learned so much from it.
Wow.
And just, you know, there's so much in just blocking out the noise and focusing on why you're actually doing this. And I think that gave me more strength than anything. And it's not even just about
we're losing you.
What happened. It's some feel threatened. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm back. Am I back now?
Yep.
Okay. You know, being Women's Month, I think we have really unhealthy competitive strikes in us.
Yeah.
That when it suits you, like I said, it's you supporting me. But when the tables are turned, it's now very unhealthy competition. Competition is good in any way. And I think if anyone, that's why even with my masterclass, I always tell people, don't rush trying to be a boss babe and working for yourself. And you learn so much by being an employee and working for someone. And you, from what you learned by being under someone, if your goal is to be your own boss, business woman,
Lost you.
You can't learn that. And I think it's very important to go through all of that and build skills and build tenacity, build, all of that
Fresh.
so that if anything attacks you in your business, as you have, it's equipped you with,
no, I'd lost you and now you're frozen.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, there we go. You like go into robot mode and then you're back. Yeah, you're back now. Let's see.
That's I think
it's on your
it must be the load shedding around for us. The Wi-Fi is not. I'll make sure. Sorry about that. Yeah. So just maybe let me know in the chat when my network is not great.
Cool.
But because I talk a lot when I talk about work.
So you're back. So thank you for that. I think that's important. But I had so many things going in my head just now. But I think we all need to be deliberate around not being these women. So not being these women that are bringing each other down, there's somebody on the call that, Portia, she's on the call here. And I was just saying to her that sometimes, women, we deflect onto other women. So the issues that we're going through, we deflect on the next person. Because if you're insecure about something else, I'd rather tell you about how horrible you are, or how whatever you are, or how actually your business isn't that dope, only because you're deflecting on your own insecurities. So instead of us as women sort of partnering together, sort of saying, Precious, I'm maybe into, I want to learn about flowers, help me. Or Precious, help me, I want to go into events. We'd rather bring you down because I haven't actually started my flower business, and I'd rather insult yours than, ask you to help me, which isn't good. So actually all of us as women just need to deliberately work on that true sisterhood that we talk about. We talk about it in public, and I agree with you. We need to do it in reality. But not to dwell so much on that, because that's a whole other topic about women and the whole narrative of us competing against each other. But I think I just want to find that, events is just completely been transformed. So, Jose and I have our business in eventing, furniture and stuff. And since lockdown, that's completely stopped. So one, there's no events, obviously. We obviously not getting income in that aspect of our business. So for you, you pivoted the business as well into your floral business. So what impact has lockdown had on you, and how did you sort of navigate through that? And the good and the bad. So if you could share sort of when lockdown came along, obviously weddings got postponed and cancelled and so. So if you could just share a bit about the past 100 and something days that you've been through.
They have been a movie. I think I'm trying not to focus too much on the what ifs and the negative and feeling down. I think, really jumping into, starting Blooms by Precious has kept my mind off, the bad side of what this whole situation is, because we honestly, our industry, and I'm sure there's other ones, but I really haven't seen, ones that are impacted as bad as us. And the worst part is we're not seen as much as other industries. And I think what's been frustrating for me is not being taken serious of our impact and contribution in terms of, like to the economy. We bring, there's so many businesses in this industry.
For sure.
and not only weddings or private events. And it's really not making sense that, you know, people can go sit at a restaurant and we can't work. I mean,
Sure.
we've we've said a lot of things to government, and but it's almost like it's going to no one is listening. It's like no one is listening.
For sure.
Um,
I mean, I
but
saw some guy. I saw actually it was a guy on, from Cape Town, I think, from one of the wedding one of the wine estates places, and he was saying the same thing. So he literally was obviously, you know, the wedding venue's not getting money and all of that, but he was just like government or just, you know, whoever is not really recognizing
yeah,
venues and the importance and obviously how much income has been coming in from that space.
I'm not gonna lie, it's really demotivating a lot, I think. And even going back to, you know, what I went through with the little bit that I've seen, our industry is so disrespected. Honestly, I think a lot of people just think we make things pretty and we play around. It's a hobby.
Yeah,
We run businesses.
for
I
sure.
mean, and I think, you know, not having any kind of a body or a forum or, you know, any association that captures all these businesses that contribute so much to our economy, it's what I've seen as a really bad thing for our industry. And, you know, with the few people that I'm talking to, that's what we're trying to get to, because that's what COVID has taught us, that
Sure.
now we can't even go to government with a document and say, this is how much,
Yeah, yeah,
like, okay, so you do parties and
yeah,
and
really,
it's really it's not a nice feeling,
for sure.
um especially for some of us that have been doing this for a long time. I think
Sure.
um because the,
Losing you?
the industry is literally using me.
Got you now?
Okay, sorry.
No.
So because it's quite a saturated industry and it's always been like that. But you know, nothing is really gazetted in terms of how this industry really should be. You know, anyone can
Not
just do
regulated.
anything, and
It's not
yeah,
regulated.
it's not regulated.
Yeah,
Anyone can just, you know, throw you under the bus and charge 10 cents, and now everybody expects for all of you to charge 10 cents,
for
you
sure.
know. So it's taught me a lot. I mean,
And
it's exposed a lot of the bad things in the industry that are not right.
well, there's
But
something for you to do. Start this body or start this regulatory.
oh, I'm really trying. I'm just imagining all the drama that comes with it. You know,
You can
who
handle
do you
it.
think you are?
You can handle it.
Like,
But just
you
talking
know,
about price, I just want to, you know, sort of commend you around not compromising. I think that's the word I want to say. Not more about, you know, your pricing or what people perceive your pricing to be or what you sort of offer and all of that. But I think what's important about that is I commend you on not compromising, on not backing down with your contracts, with your pricing, with how you work, with your terms and conditions. And I think that's important for an entrepreneur because I think sometimes we we get flexible with our customers. We say because we want a customer, we'll say, okay, we're not
yeah,
going to charge you 1,000 rand. We'll charge you like 500 rand because we really want the business. So I
yeah,
think I commend you sort of on. I mean, you've obviously been in the game a little bit longer than sort of the furniture stuff we've been doing, but I commend you on not compromising. And I can imagine that's very difficult. And I think people that will get to work with you or do get to know you, that pricing isn't just, you know, it isn't pie in the sky because pricing is exactly what you're going to get. You're going to pay for what you're going to get. And it's, you
yeah,
see, I mean, everybody that's worked with you sees it when they get to an event that you've worked on, when they receive flowers from you, whatever the case is, you're paying for what you get. So how do you work with people that constantly are trying to get more out of you than they probably than they probably should? Because I think a lot of people do perceive precious celebrations or precious the planners services very expensive. Are you with me, Presh?
you know, and you know, when it comes to my business, hi, can you hear me?
Can hear you. You gone again?
Am I back? Am I?
You're back?
Yeah. And now? Let me move this. Am I back?
Can hear you? Yes.
Am I back?
Yes.
Okay. So I think, how do I answer this? My time is money. Time is money. And I've always just, if anyone I can see or foresee a problem or an issue, I honestly either get out of the situation before it becomes anything I don't want to be part of, because I really hate having those conversations. And probably very soon I'm going to try being not more so operational in my business, because I think it stops a lot of the business decisions that should happen.
Mm-hmm. Losing you.
If a client doesn't speak to me directly, and let me just say, there's a financial. Let me connect this to. I'm going to change this.
Do you want to dial back in?
Because I really don't know what's happening. I don't want it to. No. My hotspot. Okay, give me a second. Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
Hopefully that.
Yeah, got you.
Am I still on?
Yeah, you're on.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Sorry, it's still saying connecting, but I'll continue talking.
Yeah,
can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So I think anyone, 9 years in, 10 years in, you can't be still charging what you charged 5 years ago. It's impossible. So what I really always just look at is clients that are happy and appreciate what they're paying for, is always the best way to go. And I've always run my business very transparent. Any client of mine knows exactly what they're paying for.
For sure.
And I think with the little girl, the 21-year-old that exposed my codes and all of that, I don't hide anything from my clients. They know how much the chair they're sitting on cost, how much the napkin they're wiping their mouths with cost. And that's basically how I've always run my business.
For sure.
Itemized, transparent, and the fee that is towards me is basically for that, for my time. And that's why, when you're planning a big celebration or a big wedding, it's not planned in a day. There's a lot of time, effort, and behind the scene work that is done. And to be honest, I think educating people, understanding that it's not about on the day, and I'm basing it on the industry. Events, weddings, celebrations, it's not about just on the day. The work is actually prior.
But we just, what makes me also upset is that it's also just this thing that as Black people, we're expecting another Black sister or another Black person to give us a discount. You would not expect that from Jessica or Karen if you were getting flowers from them.
No.
If they said you spend 1,000 Rand on flowers, you would not blink. You'd say, oh, okay. You wouldn't even dare even ask for a discount. But because it's my friend Noxie, I have to be like, Noxie girl, can I have like 100 Rand discount, and that ultimately, and not to say it shouldn't be, price sensitive, but
it's not even about the discount. It's not even the discount. Let me just, like, what I've seen, you can say it'll be 500,000. But because it's you, Black girl, I'll go to your next competition that is a fairer skin to you, and they charge 600K. And because they're not Black, it's okay.
Yeah.
You Black, why are you charging so much money? Not even a discount. It's about you not worthy of that. You Black, you're gonna disappoint me along the way.
Sure.
I'm not gonna get what I'm expecting.
Sure.
And I think that's why I always just either fire myself before anything happens. Like, honestly, I've had to let go of a few people, you know, before it gets to a situation where, you know, we're talking other things.
Yeah.
When I can just say, I actually think you can do this by yourself. You don't need me.
Sure.
It's not working out. It's a very personal service that I offer. So I really can't work with someone that doesn't fully trust what I'm going to deliver, because that's really a challenge. If first the trust is not there, it's a problem already. So, and that's the thing about people that are coming into the business. They don't understand that it's not just about on the day and delivering. It's you managing, you know, someone's expectation from day one. Now you're talking to them for a whole 12 months. If you had to divide the fee over 12 months, it's peanuts. Like, to be honest, if you had to, you know, say, this is my hourly rate, you don't question when you go consult at a dentist, because their hourly rates, they're professional, they're qualified, they're skilled. You don't question it. But because you make things pretty, you're a party planner, hate that word, you know, it's, am I back?
Let's see.
So I think it's just, wait, I changed. Is it better? Can you hear me?
Hear you.
Okay, I took off my Wi-Fi. It's really annoying. Okay, so, you know, the part of just, you know, not compromising, I don't do that. And when I have, it's really not turned out great. So people that come to me and understand what they're paying for because of what they want,
for sure,
that's when you understand that someone respects what you do. For sure. But the clients that question every single thing, that's always like a, you know, a big red flag for me.
Yeah, and I guess walking away is also important, hey? So knowing when to say no, and walking away. But just on a bit of a positive note, so somebody who could be on this call and in the industry, or about to go into the industry, or wants to start, you know, an event, or not necessarily weddings, but just into an event space, sort of what kind of, I don't want to use the word tips, but just sort of what are those things that you think that, you know, you gotta have? I mean, besides a thick skin and resilience, but what are sort of the things you think somebody got to really think about?
I think because, you know, Pinterest and Instagram, social media has really made everyone in this industry so small. People are not really trying to have their own signature at their offering.
Sure.
I think the first important thing, and which is what I did, I made sure that I understood what I wanted to offer. And I haven't actually diverted it anywhere, not even 1% from the beginning. And it doesn't mean that I don't see, you know, I'm not growing as a brand, but I made sure by the time I decided this is day one for Precious Celebrations, I've always kept that strategy, what my mission and the objective for the brand is. I think when you go into it, make sure you understand who you want to service first of all, and do they complement your brand? Because people that later on I realized this wasn't a client for me is the ones that go wrong, because they expect certain things from you, not understanding what your offering is. So I've also learned to not just take any client. And that can be seen as, you know, big ego, whatever. It's not. It's basically just avoiding issues along the way. I know I listen a lot to my gut, and it's like in business, you know, emotions are really not great, you know, to have in the forefront, but in my line of business, it's very important because you are dealing with people's emotions.
Sure.
And celebrations are very, celebrations are very close to people's hearts. It's not, a product that you sell, they use, they finish, you deliver, it's done.
Yeah.
And because of the interactions and the clients that I've had, because I've realized with having so many of my clients that I've done stuff for from years ago that are still in my life, I realize it's actually more than just business and a service that you've offered. And it's really, it's the hard part of it, am I always going to be like that, or do I need to now think and just think of other ways of giving the same service, but me not being in the front line, having a CEO so that I can work on other things, so
I don't know how your customers are going to feel about that, but yeah.
I know, but I really think don't come to Precious celebrations because of Precious.
For sure.
It's very hard.
It's the tip for service, for sure. And
so that's what I'm working on. Yeah.
And just before I open up for questions, because I'm sure like a few people want to know this, when you were planning your own wedding, how much pressure was there on a scale of 1 to 10? Because you've had all these amazing weddings and you've obviously made so many other people's fairy tales come true. And when it was time to plan your own wedding, I know you told me the hardest thing was letting go, but from a scale of 1 to 10, how much pressure did you have when you were getting married?
At the beginning, I'd say 9, 10 out of 10. But along the way, I had to step back.
Yeah.
And I think I even told you, but, when I found myself declining our wedding being on TV, I realized, actually, I don't want this to be so public, Can I just do it for us?
Yeah.
And I mean, even like after, acquiring the bridal magazine, I delayed printing so that I don't make this big hoo-ha about, the wedding planner gets married. It was very hard. I'm not gonna lie. It was very hard to, and on the other hand, I had, people saying, "Oh my, you sleeping on the money, girl. You're sleeping on the money."
Yeah, I hear you.
And then on the other side, I'm like, no, but this is such a private moment in my life.
Yeah.
And literally weeks before, especially the white wedding, I mean, I said, I just, top billing, our wedding being on Showmax. I was just like, and it wasn't even about what they were offering. I was just happy that actually it wasn't an offer that made us happy, and it didn't happen because I didn't want the pressure to take over from what it was all about.
Yeah, I hear you.
I love that. Yeah, but everything happens for a reason, and I'm just happy that it didn't get to that, because I think I'd be in a totally different place right now. It's really not for the faint-hearted, this life of being well known, and I don't want it. Like, no, I don't want it.
Well, you've seen it, so you know it front and center. Guys, I'm going to like time flies, and Precious, I'll talk to you all night. If you could raise your question and then raise your hand, on the chat thing, and then I'll be able to see you, and then you can unmute and ask a question or a comment as well. So if you guys know how to use the raise hand thing, you guys can raise your hands and ask a question or unmute yourself. Anybody want to talk? Don't be shy. Who am I going to pick on that's not very shy? Noxie.
Hi, I hope my network isn't terrible.
No, we can.
Oh, no, it's perfect.
First of all, the part where you declined top billing, wow, that is very commendable. That is very commendable. My mother owns a wedding venue, and we are very, very new in the game, very, very new in the game. And just battling around finding the right furniture, these resources are just, and we are in KZN, so it's kind of it's been struggles. But the one thing that I want
Oh, Noxie, we lost you now.
to know what you think, really compromising yourself in terms of when you're
We lost you now.
new. Hello?
Yeah.
We're losing you. Are you in the
Oh.
Midlands?
Do you want to ask your question in the chat, Noxie?
Okay, let me do that. Let me do that
Okay.
rather.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Ask your question in the chat and then I'll have a look at it. Perfect. We'll go on to the next question while we wait for Noxie. Was it, I don't know who unmuted. Bui, did you have a question? Bui? No, she didn't have a question. Okay.
No, Zami, no question from me. Just
Okay.
enjoying the session. Thank you so much to you and Precious.
Cool, awesome. Let me see if, but I'll just ask a question just while we wait for Noxie's question. Precious, when you're feeling overwhelmed, like now during lockdown, what's the one thing you kind of have to do every day? Like, you know, listen to your favorite song or get a nice cup of coffee. So when you're feeling overwhelmed and when you wake up just during lockdown, what is that one thing that you're doing to sort of keep in a positive mindset?
I listen to gospel music.
Yeah.
Like in the morning, especially. I've realized if I do that, a lot of things don't really affect me in a negative way. I tend to have quite a positive day that, you know, I also just, you know, I've actually taken time from being off social media a little bit, because one of my suppliers the other day called me just off track and she says, I don't know if you've noticed that I unfollowed you. I was like, okay. Then she's like, I want to tell you the reason why. She's like, in the last couple of months, you know, with other suppliers, what you're doing, I just felt inadequate. I didn't feel like I'm good. I didn't feel like I'm doing enough.
Yeah.
And I listened to a podcast of a pastor while I was driving, and it went to the wrong episode. But the episode that played was talking about what you feed yourself, whether your eyes or your ears, really impacts on so many things that contribute to how you feel about yourself. And she's like,
for sure.
I really didn't unfollow you because you know how much I respect you. But my feed was distracting me. It was making me feel like I'm not worthy, I'm not creative enough. And I just realized actually what you see and what you decide to look at can really affect a lot of things, you know?
I hear you.
So really, if I wake up on the wrong side of the bed, I literally just, there's like a few songs that have carried me through, and I just go back to that and remember, just remember who I am. And, you know, I'm not everything I've achieved or everything I've done. It's not just me. And also just, you know, I've also noticed or realized how people actually feel so entitled to thinking they've made me.
For sure.
And I had to question that, like, no, my talent, my passion is, it's my hard work, is everything I put in, and obviously backed up by, you know, everything else that is beyond what I can even think is why I'm on this earth for. So, I mean, it's
Noxie's question. She says, how does one price without compromising? We are notorious for food, but not so much decor, but we're exploring decor as well. What's your advice for that? So compromise, not compromising on price.
Sure, Noxie, with a venue, listen, venues are, you need to not think of one kind of market that you service. So I would advise you to make sure that when it's not for private clients, what your offering is for corporates, what your offering is for families, so that when one is quiet, you can tap on the other one. But I think when you do your pricing structure, do your research and make sure that what your offering is matches your price, because you'll be confident enough to know that no one will question it.
Yeah.
So just like how you were saying, Zami, about compromising on your price, if you really don't believe in your worth, no one will. If they come to you and you're consulting and you tell, okay, this is how much you're looking at, but you're also doubting yourself, no one is gonna, you need to make sure what you say stands and you believe it and you're confident enough in it. So don't never compromise on your price, but make sure you've done your background research about how much other people are charging, and always just ask people, do a food tasting and ask someone or whoever you have around the table, how much would you pay for that? So you can gauge, what people think, what different people think, and that will be able to give you an idea of, if your pricing is really on point. But don't compromise it once you reach that place where you go, this is what our offering is worth. Yeah.
Cool. We've got Charlene who says, Precious, would you consider doing more corporate events after lockdown, or maybe move to event webinars? Yeah, webinars.
It's always one of those things as well. You sleeping on the money. Corporate, I do a bit of them, and actually now restructuring. I'm definitely gonna make sure I have a team equipped for servicing corporates, because that's my background. I just didn't want, a brief from a bank or an insurance company where all I have to do is follow the CI colors and set up a conference room. It's not really exciting. So I think it's just about aligning myself with brands that are an extension of my offering and complement my brand as well. So I'm definitely considering that, especially if, weddings people are not sure if they want to have big weddings. So I don't want to rely on just like what I said now to Noxie. I think I've had to really think about, not just keeping my eggs in one basket and saying my clients is only private clients. So I'm definitely putting something that is gonna be more accommodating for corporate companies and brands. Yeah, so definitely. And webinars, I was actually happy to do this today because I've been a bit like in the background and, but I don't want to really, I think the worst thing I would, no, I wouldn't have never even. I think it was just good timing because you can't just sit back, I think something dies inside of you when you don't really do what you love, and it's a dangerous place to be in. You have to always find ways to motivate and keep the fire, burning.
Yeah. We've got a question from Khomotsa. Hey, Khomotsa. She's my makeup artist, yes. She says, when lockdown was announced, how did you prepare your team and yourself? I know we all didn't expect it to go on for this long, but did you have a plan?
No, I didn't have a plan. I just thought, no, this is not going to go on for too long. So the first 3 months, I think I didn't even make too many changes in terms of salaries, and I just made sure my team didn't come to the office. But I think the best part is because, like I said, my business is very, very small. Like literally, I am everything in my business. And it's what I need to actually just work on to make sure that one day if I get hit by a bus, God forbid, my business can still continue. Yeah. That's what I learned in corporate, and I don't know why I'm not practicing that at all. You have to make sure you have systems in place that will carry your business even if you're not there. So those are the changes I'm making to make sure that I lead in a way that is a great example, and make sure I have succession plans in place. Even for a small brand like me, it's important, because otherwise you'll be, you know, so burnt out because you do everything yourself. So yeah.
Yeah. Does that answer your question? Yeah. So the next one I have is Salome. She says, you have a high net worth clientele. What specific marketing strategies have you focused on to access the niche market when you started your business, and how are you maintaining it? So high net worth clientele, what were your specific marketing strategies?
I just understood what luxury is. I think automatically that will bring the right clients to you. You have to have an offering that someone feels like it's unattainable. Someone feels like, I always wanted to make sure my offering is aspirational. Even if you think you can't afford it, why do you think I have clients? Because they can afford it.
Yeah.
But people have this perception that I'm too expensive. And I'm like, if you don't ask or say what you really want, you'll never know.
Sure.
And it's also the downside to you, because someone that really might be your client might not come to you because they think you're too expensive.
For sure.
But I just made sure that what I put out there in terms of my brand matches my work. So you can't really say, that's one thing I always say, even at my masterclasses, you can't now have, you know, your website or your Facebook page or Instagram page, you know, your bio says you are high end, you do luxury or bespoke, you know, the word everyone uses. Yeah. And you can't really advertise to attract elite clients. It's really, because you're going to actually chase away potential clients, because they might think, what is your interpretation of elite and high end?
For sure.
But I'm honestly going to say it's because of the relationships I have, the circles I'm in, and how I speak about my brand, and more importantly, how others speak about my brand.
For sure. For sure.
So you're never burn your bridges. I think with the Facebook book that's out now, that's one of the things I really realized from my 8 years before my 9 years of working for myself, that everywhere that I've worked, I've always made sure that when I leave, my relationships are still intact.
Yeah, yeah.
And your last client really is the best person to vouch for your work, because if someone asks for something, what they've experienced from start to finish, it's really all you need in terms of advertising your business. I never actually do any ads, to be honest. I don't advertise if I have an interview, or it's not because I've requested. In all honesty, it's
word of mouth.
It's word of mouth, and it's just my work has done the PR for me. So make sure that if you want to service that kind of clientele, your work speaks to that kind of clientele, so that when they see it, you know, it's kind of like an automatic, okay, this is the kind of, you know, look, aesthetics I'm going for. So make sure that all of those things, you know, complement each other. You can't have, you know, one certain part of your marketing platform speak something different, but, you know, then everything doesn't, you can't, don't be diluted. You need to stick to what you really set your mind to, so that even if it takes 2 years, and really this didn't happen overnight, I'm not gonna lie.
Tops,
I didn't start out like that.
Tops has a question for you.
Okay.
Good evening, ladies. Good evening. Good evening.
Hello.
I apologize about my camera. It's not intentional. I've got some technical issues here that I did not foresee.
We forgive you.
Firstly, just to say thank you to Nomzamo for this Dope Black Girl session. It's been absolutely awesome, superb. And then to you, Precious. I think your authenticity, beauty, brilliance, and conviction is absolutely outstanding. But mine is on the interview part that you mentioned, you did a great cover feature with Destiny. If I remember correctly, I think it was the February issue earlier this year. And there was something you had shared there in terms of what 2020 means for you, or what you wanted to be. And you said you wanted to be the year of yes. Yeah. And doing things differently. Now, you had said that obviously with COVID not being our reality at that time, I just wanted to know, how has it, how are you still carrying that spirit and that perspective of the year of yes, or has it deterred and have you had to redefine it?
Sure, obviously you'll come up with a deep question. Trust you. But I've had to alter the yes part to it. I consult a lot with really the closest people in my life when I'm not sure about something, about a decision, or if an opportunity comes my way, I really have to think and introspect and say, do I say yes or no? Does it feel right? So I've had to, I can't say yes to everything. It's funny that you brought that up. I've realized that you can't say yes to everything. As much as it's the year of the yes, but to the right, to the right opportunity, to the right people, to the right moment. And another friend of mine just said to me when I was just questioning a lot of stuff, don't ever question why you have, a seat at the table. Oh. Sorry. Did you hear my phone ring?
Yes, super loud.
Sorry. It's because I've got my phone, yes. Anyway. But I don't question when an opportunity comes my way. But I've had to rethink what I say yes to. And don't feel bad for saying no. Because some people get offended when you say no. But I'm saying yes to the right opportunities, the right people, the right moments, the right decisions. I'm saying yes to that still. Yeah.
Tops, does that answer you?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, we've got Musa. I think I'll read this last question. She says, in Succession tradition, what is the one word that describes how you're feeling right now or just during lockdown period? One word.
One word.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would probably say, shoo.
Blessed.
Wow.
Who's phoning you?
No, content.
Content?
Yeah.
Want to elaborate?
I don't question what happens, because one thing that always gives me comfort is, and I use this word a lot, and someone reminded me the other day, I think it was even for my interview when I did the Destiny cover, is God is in control. So when I feel I'm not, because I'm a control freak, and it's what I needed to work on, that everything can't always be as I'm expecting. I used to say, less expectations, less disappointment. But you have to be expecting. And because if you expect less, because you're avoiding to be disappointed, then you're also expecting less from what God can do for you. So I'm content in a manner that whatever happens, God is in control. I'm not in control. So yeah, that gives me that sense of contentment. Yeah.
And Bui's question is, do you have a mentor? And if yes, how has that relationship matured you both personally and in business?
I don't have a mentor that is formal in paper. I have a lot of women that I've come across that have given me the opportunity to do work for them that I sometimes don't even believe I can just pick up my phone and call. One thing I'm very bad at, and also I'm working on it, is asking for help and knowing when someone is literally, when you feel like, what gives me the right to call this person and ask them, should I do this? What do you think? I'm very bad at that. So, but I have really amazing women that have paved the way for me to be a strong businesswoman that I am. And only when I go through something, I let them know that they've been an integral part of my life, that whatever decisions or where I am, they've contributed. So I don't have it, because I feel like a lot of people rely a lot on a mentor and want to be spoon-fed of what to do. I want to get into events. What should I do? I've had to think of ways that it doesn't sound cold or unapproachable, but I always say, you can't be like the other person. You must be yourself.
Yeah, and do the
because now, if you want the exact recipe that I've used, it's not going to work because it's not yours. So create your own recipe and just now find people that can help you perfect it.
Sure.
So I do have, only recently actually a lady that was a client of mine, and she just told me, you need to find a life coach. And I'm like, I had one years ago. And she just told me how this life coach, what she's doing at the moment, has given her, just the strength and wisdom to know what she's worth. And I'm like, but you're doing that for me.
Yeah.
I don't actually, not yet, to pay someone, because I've gone through that. But I feel like I have really amazing, great women that have learned from their own mistakes, from their experiences, that if you ask the right question without expecting a recipe and to be spoon-fed and given exactly what to do, they can literally just say one word and I know exactly what my decision is. Yeah.
Thank you. I hope that answered you, B. But guys, thank you so much. And in succession style, you guys are gonna have to turn on your cameras just for the last little ending, as you all know. Turn on your cameras. Portia, Angela, Komoto. Who else can I see? Charmaine.
Are you gonna take a photo?
Gotta see your pretty faces. Yes, I'm hoping Booty does take one. Turn on your, yes, seeing some pretty faces. Yes, ladies. Salome, Eugenia, Tato. Yes, Mama Tato. Turn on your cameras and bui. Just as we close off this session, Precious, thank you so much for setting time aside. I know, you were back to back with interviews, and just in lockdown, it seems time is also like water, literally flies. So
can I say something before you finish? Lockdown has just showed me flames in terms of how much time you put in to do something for less pay. Like, it's crazy. Morning and you finish and you're just like, I'm moving, but so much.
Yeah.
But you know what? It keeps the passion alive, and I'm grateful. I'm not complaining. But like, time is, you'd think everyone has time on their hands, but no.
It's blurry, and it seems like more people are just stressed about. Yeah, Angela, don't be shy. Turn on your camera. Anyway, guys, I want to say thank you so much to everybody who joined the call. We went a little bit over, but I hope you did find this insightful and got some of your questions answered, the ladies that asked questions. But have a wonderful evening and a wonderful weekend. There will be another Subsessions on Saturday, so hope to see some of you guys there. But thank you so much, Precious, for the time, for the gems that you've shared with us, and continue being amazing. Continue being a dope Black girl, and continue taking up the spaces that you are taking up. You're doing a really great job. We're all watching, so please continue sort of, keeping us hopeful in all our different spaces. So big cheers and a good night. So whatever you're sipping on, tea, wine, water, juice, coffee. Dimi, are you sipping on juice, coffee, wine, champagne, anything? Cheers, ladies, and good night, and have a wonderful weekend. Thanks, Presh.
Thank you, pleasure. Thanks, everyone.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.